This is Soph,
This is Rich.
and we are from across
Across
the
the
pond.
pond.
What's going on? How was your weekend?
Good evening. The weekend, yeah, it was okay. I worked Saturday and Sunday. So as per usual, I am tired. But
Hey, success comes with being tired.
right, nobody got anywhere by sleeping. That's what I just keep telling
You
myself.
can sleep when you're dead.
Right? But it's not all been work and no play. I did watch some boxing last night. Chris Eubank Jr. was fighting. Oh, let me find out the guy's name. I just know he's got.
Let me pull mine up too, because I was watching it.
I just know that he's got massively ridiculous ears.
Who's got massive, ridiculous ears?
The guy who Chris Eubank Jr. was fighting, Williams. I can't remember his first name. Hold on. I know that's really bad. I normally just find out the name of the person I'm supporting. Anyway, his name is Williams, surname. Now, I was backing Chris Eubank Jr. I bet on him to win in round 6. It was going down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I tell you, it went the full 12 rounds, right? However, Chris Eubank Jr. did knock him down 3 times in the first 5 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Matey's eye. Let me wait till you're back in the room, because you know I just feel hot-headed if you're not.
I'm watching. I'm just pulling up my stuff too.
I'm watching, he says, with his eyes nowhere near the screen.
Girl.
Anyway, Matey had like Al had that big lump on his forehead when he got pushed over. This guy had his whole eye ballooned up and it was bright purple, and he kept going like this. So it's obvious he's having trouble seeing, but they didn't call the fight off. I do not think, I can't believe I'm going to say this, I do not think Chris Eubank Jr. should have won. For the reason is, he was peeing about. Like, the guy would, like, let's say Chris Eubank Jr. would box him a couple of times, Matey's punches were missing, so he'd stand there and be like, come on, bring it on, we get it all the time. And then started dancing around the ring. And I'm like, mate, I got a bet on round 6. You've already knocked him down 3 times. If he was just boxing instead of acting like a prat, he would have knocked him down. He probably would have knocked him down in round 6, because round 5 was the last time he knocked him down. So A, he lost me my bet. B, he was acting like a prat. Stop showboating and do the job that you go in there to do, which is box.
Get the job done.
So I don't personally think he should have won, but he did on points, only just.
Well, Keith Thurman and Barrera, they got it in from start to finish. Keith Thurman won by unanimous decision, but there was some rounds there, though, that, like, I was like, Barrera was putting it on him, and he was taunting him. You know how, like, you punch on somebody, and then he was like, come on, boy, come on. And then Thurman was like, yo, I ain't no slouch. He was giving him some work. It came down to the wire. Unanimous decision, Keith Thurman. Which I like fights like that, though.
You're right. I did like the fight before that, a female fight, and the woman, you say over there, if you're a GOAT, that means the greatest of all time.
Right.
She called herself GWOAT, greatest woman of all time. Now, let me tell you, that was a good fight.
I believe it.
God,
I hate seeing women fight, though.
Why?
Just me. I'm not big on watching women punch each other in the face.
But it's all right for men to punch themselves.
We've been gladiators since the age of time.
Oh, come on, equality. If you went back, there'd be women gladiators. Women can.
Yeah, there would be.
Women can slap you upside the head just as much as the next man.
Yeah, well, women can't hit as hard as men. Sorry.
All right,
Just
you tell Ronda what's her face that UFC fighter, Ronda Rousey. You tell me she
yeah,
can't punch as
she's
hard as
not
man.
she's not punching as hard as a man. Sorry. Now she might put you in that little arm lock of hers and make you tap out.
She can punch
She,
harder than some men. Not all men can punch hard, you know.
okay, I'm just saying.
Don't lump everybody with the same umbrella. Some men are wusses. They can't punch a feather out of a paper bag.
I believe you.
Anyway, how was your weekend apart from the boxing match?
I was very uneventful. Was trying to sell my truck, got that squared away.
Squared away.
Yeah, got some more job offers.
Can I just
And
say, this is me with my sensible mum head on now. Maybe that you've had to sell the truck. Next time you get the impulse buying syndrome where you just want to buy something on a whim, maybe you won't. Just saying.
thanks, Mum. Thanks, Mom.
Just got your
Anyway,
best interest at heart. Try to rein
anyway,
it
I
in.
got that taken care of. And I got a couple more job offers. I applied. I got a job fair to go to on Tuesday, so I'm making it happen. That was my weekend.
Any of the jobs standing out more than the others?
None of them stand out until I get hired.
Okay, sorry. When you said job offers, I thought you meant they'd offered you jobs. That's what that means.
Yes, but you still got to get hired. They can offer you all kinds of stuff. You still need to get hired.
Oh, so if they offer you the job, that doesn't mean it's yours?
Mm-mm.
What
They got
sort
to
of
do
issue is
background
that?
because they got to do background checks and drug tests and all kinds of stuff. There's so many red tape before you even get the
Oh,
job.
we know that you are a squeaky clean, upholding citizen. What they hanging about for?
Hey, look, I don't know, but got to play the game.
Play the game. Play the long game.
The long game. Like we said Friday, you don't put all your eggs in one basket. You gotta
Right?
shoot around.
Pop them yolks about. Pop, pop, pop,
Yeah.
pop, pop. All
Yes.
right. Serious Sunday. I'm going to ask you a question, Rich.
Go for it.
Where do you see yourself when you get old? Like, you know, like your final days, not being morbid, but like your final days, where do you see yourself?
You know what? I see myself being a old, lovable grandpa who's in an assistant living.
Oh, like a retirement home?
Or living with one of my kids, one of the two.
Which,
So I can play with my
if the
grandchildren.
choice was yours, what would you do? Live in a retirement home or live with your kids?
I don't know, to be honest. I don't know.
I don't know. Because what we're going to talk about is getting older, right? Getting old. Loads of different tree branches off of that one subject. But I don't know what it's like over there. But some of, not all, before somebody comes jumping on me, some or a lot of the retirement homes, we'll call them, old people's home, whatever you want to say, they're always in the news here for not being very good. You know, like old people getting abused, neglected, you know.
Yeah.
Do you have that over there?
Yeah, we have that rampant over here.
Really?
And during the pandemic, the old folks' homes was getting it really bad, and they weren't allowed the relatives to come see them.
Ours is the same here. But this is what I mean. Let's say you got to a point where you had to put a relative into a retirement home because you personally didn't have the facility to take care of them, right? Mm-hmm. How would you choose a good one? Do you know what I mean?
Gotta do your research. First of all, I wouldn't put my dad in an old folks home. I would put him somewhere where he can still function on his own. Just have people watch out for him.
Okay, like you mean like
assistant living.
At the bottom of the hill where I live, they got like old people's bungalows. So it's like a little
village.
No, not like
of
a
old
village.
People?
a bungalow, you know what a bungalow is?
Yeah, I know what a
Yeah,
bungalow is.
like a one level house.
Right.
There's like one road that's got, say, 20 bungalows on them on each side. That's
Uh-huh.
where that's old people's bungalows. So only old people, say over, I don't know, 60 can live in there. But they have a carer that will come in and check on them, and they've got like
Yeah.
alarms and stuff. So if anything happens, they can alert somebody. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't think I would put my dad in an old folks home where, they got to wipe his butt and feed him and all that. I'm just talking about,
But what
you
if he
know,
was unable to if he was unable to stay in that sort of environment where he took care of himself? What if he needed somebody to wipe his bum?
give it, he's staying with me or
Okay.
my sister, or we're going to do something. We're going to work. We're going to have an emergency family meeting. Now, for me per se, I would think my kids would put me somewhere nice and not put me somewhere evil. You know what I mean? Or they
But
put me in, like I said, if my dad comes to the point where he can either live with me or I put him somewhere where, you know what I mean, he's still being able to do his own thing, be
see, now
independent.
for me,
Independent living, that's what it's called. I'm
okay,
sorry.
for me, if I had a loved one, my mom, or if I'm lucky enough to get a husband one day, um, I, even if I did the most amount of due diligence, I wouldn't want them to go into a home because, like I said, there are some crook ones. I'm sure there are some really nice ones, but I've seen stories on the telly where people have done their due diligence. It's got a 5-star gleaming rating. And then after a period of time that their relatives have been there, say a few months, they start to realize the behavior is different. So they set up a secret camera in there and they see their relative getting slapped about or stuff getting stolen. And I'm just like, nah, they're coming to stay with me, I'm telling you.
Well, I had two different versions of this with my grandparents. My grandmother stayed with my aunt, which was her daughter. My
Mhm.
dad's mom stayed with my aunt. And
Mhm.
my grandfather on my mom's side, which is my mom's father, he stayed in a independent living until he passed away. And in there, he was a playboy. I went to visit him one time. Some lady was doing his laundry.
Oh, well, at least we know where you get it from. See, now me,
You got
but I've seen both. Like my nanny Stanny, my dad's mum, she went into a care home, but she had like dementia. She went senile, I think it's called. Like I remember going to visit her once with my
she had
dad.
Alzheimer's.
No, it was senile dementia. Um, I remember going to visit her with my dad once in the care home. She hadn't seen my sister for years, let's say like 4 years. And me and my dad went in and sat down in the room with her. And, like, hi, how you been? And she said, oh, Mary's next door, like in the room next door. And we were like, I was like, no, thinking to myself, no, she ain't. So I looked at my dad as if to say, what are we supposed to say to that? She was like, go on, go next door and see her, speak to her. And my dad was like, yeah, no worries. We'll go and see her in a second. She went, go on. She's literally just got here. She's in the room next door. Go and speak to her. And I was thinking, oh, God, like she's not, you haven't seen her for like 4 years. But her mind's obviously playing tricks. Then my dad's other half's mum, so my dad's partner, her mum, she got ill. I'm sure. I think. I'm sorry. I know my dad watches. Sorry, Dad, if I get it wrong. I'm sure she had cancer, and then she got like some sort of dementia, maybe Alzheimer's. I'm not 10,000% sure, but they looked after her in the home like for years. And I'm not being disrespectful or rude, but I did see it took a toll on them. Do you know what I mean? It was hard work to be like 24/7 carer, it's because it's almost like when, as you get older, if you get something like dementia or Alzheimer's or whatever, it's almost like you go back to being a child.
Yeah, you revert back to being an infant.
right? You have to do
Almost.
everything, feed them, wipe their bum, bath them, do this, do that, do the other. And I know they wouldn't have had it any other way because I wouldn't either, like I said, if it was my mum. But it definitely took a toll, like they put themselves after her needs. Do you know what I mean? Her needs come first, then theirs.
Mhm.
But I would still do it. I would still do it 10,000%. I wouldn't let anybody else look after my mum but me because I know for a fact they wouldn't be able to do it as well as me.
Well, I look at it like this. My sister is a nurse practitioner, so and then me and my dad are really, really tight. So if it ever were to come down to it, I think that like I would call on my sisters, but yet my pops would probably stay with me.
Okay.
Unless he says he want to live in like independent living where he just,
But I
can
don't
just
know.
chill
Well,
out his days.
do they have to prove that they can support themselves in mentally in independent living? How does it work?
I don't know.
Oh,
That's
look
a
at
good
that.
answer.
I cut off the ATP yawn there. You were just about to yawn, and I asked you a question, and it was like, gone. Let me
Yeah,
ask
I
you
don't
this:
know.
care
That's a good answer.
care homes over there.
Well, good question.
Who funds them then? If you was to put your dad in a care home or assisted living, would you have to
I
pay for that?
think, well, here, I think it's more or less based on your insurance.
Oh, you can't go in if you don't have insurance?
I don't know.
Ooh.
That's a good question. Another good question. But I've watched a lot of television where, if they don't have the insurance and insurance don't cover it, it's kind of like out of pocket.
Do you know why I like this show? One of the reasons, anyway, because we love the show. I'm not saying we're old. We ain't old. We're in our prime. But it really is something you got to think about because we have things here like a policy where you can put money. I suppose it's like an insurance policy. You put money to one side to cater for when you get, but then also ain't that a pension? Do you have pensions there?
Yeah, we have pensions and retirement.
So surely your pension would cover it then.
Probably so. Or your retirement. Some of your retirement might be able to cover it.
But I mean, surely they wouldn't kick you out if you couldn't. Say you had no family or no nothing. They couldn't kick you out, surely.
Well, then I think the state would probably take over. But then you know what? If the state takes over, they're liable to put you anywhere.
Okay, so let's just say your dad wanted to go into a residential living or whatever it is, but he didn't have enough money. Would you pay the money for him?
Heck yeah, hands down. That ain't even excuse me, that ain't even a question. Excuse me.
You're excused. Okay, so
Would you do the same? Would you do the same for your mother?
what pay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd try and persuade her to come and live with me instead first. But if she was adamant, then yeah, I'd cough up the dough.
Me
Whatever.
too. I would really try to push for my pops
You
to
know
stay with
what?
me though.
There is no price on love.
None. Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you this. When it comes to your time, and that, let me touch wood and whistle, is not going to be for a long time, would you choose to be buried or cremated?
I want to be buried. I want all my parts, even though I think I have a donor card on my phone
Oh,
on my
that was going to be my
license.
next question. Yeah, sorry. Just making a note. You want to be buried?
Yeah.
So you want the worms to eat you?
Yep. I want to go back to where I came from. Dust to dust.
But then surely that would be cremated because you get turned to dust.
You turn to dust either way.
Well, no, because your bones stay there for years and years and years and years.
Yeah, until someone touches them and they dust.
How does it work there? Like here, you have to buy a plot of land, like in the cemetery or whatever. Does it work the same there?
Well, some people do it in advance. Some people have their insurance to where like um you can go ahead and buy your tombstone plot, all that good stuff. Like, for instance, I don't throw my dad's business in there, but he's already got all that taken care of. So
Okay.
that leaves all the stress off of the children who have to, find a coffin and all that. He's got all that taken care of.
Okay,
Pre-started.
can I ask you a sensitive question? Would you
Mhm.
like your body to go with your brother?
I thought about that and I'm still on the fence because I'm ex-military, so I kind of want to have like a military burial with like the 21 gun salute.
So you can only have that in certain places.
Hmm.
Why is that?
You would be buried in the military base, military joint,
Okay, so let's just say you did the
military
whole,
cemetery.
let's say you went the whole military route, you had your 21 guns, whatever, however, if you was married, would your wife be allowed to be buried with you then or not?
Very good question. I do not know.
How could you not know? I mean,
I don't know if my spouse could be buried with me.
she don't have to have 21 guns. That's because she weren't in the military. But
See, I kind of want to be now. Like I said, I'm on the fence with this. Maybe when I get a little older and I start thinking about like when I'm going to kick the bucket, because I don't think I'm kicking the bucket anytime soon.
no, agree.
But I have thought about how my dad has done it, where he's got his plot, tombstone, all that taken care of. I kind of want to do that later on in life so that when I do pass away, my kids ain't got to fight over who's got to do what. It's all taken care of.
If you went the military 21 gun route, would you still have to pay for that or would it be covered by your pension in the military or something?
No, it'd just be well with the milk with my DD-214, it'd probably be free. You know what I mean?
With your what? Sorry, you spoke so fast. I've no idea what you said.
With my military paperwork, it would
Okay.
probably be free. And then my sons would probably one of my sons, my oldest, would probably get the flag. I would put it in my will that my oldest gets the flag and my
The
youngest
flag
gets
that
the
they put on
rounds.
the top of your coffin.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah. And then I would probably have like the shells from the 21 gun salute. I'd probably give those to my youngest.
When you say 20, this is going to sound like a bloody thick question, but hey,
It's a military. No, there's no such thing as a wrong question.
but hold on, you
Uh,
say 21 gun salute. Does that mean 21 guns firing off?
yeah.
Okay. Just see, I told you it was a silly
Blue,
question.
blue,
And why 21? What does that signify?
blue. Huh?
Why 21? What's that signify?
Another very good question that I do not know. It's a military thing.
If it's a military thing, you was in the military, you should know these
Yeah, I
things.
haven't been in the military in I don't know how long. I haven't been in the military since '06. It's 22. I still get the perks of the military. I get some perks because I'm a little, But other than that, I blame a lot of stuff on the war.
Okay, let's just blame it on the war then, why you don't know any of these answers. Who knows?
Thanks. I'll take that.
So, would you then, going on from your previously what you said, would you donate your organs?
Would I donate? Matter of fact, do I have my wallet? I'm gonna see if I have the donation on
Don't
my.
let any moths come out when you open that wallet.
Wouldn't that be nice?
No, it means you got no money.
No, I do not have donation on my what's name.
Okay, is that by choice? Because you obviously didn't know. So, did you think you was a donor then?
Yeah, I thought I was,
Would that mean you would
but I'm
be?
not. Huh?
Does that mean you would be then?
If it doesn't have it on my driver's license, I'm not a donor.
But would you consider being a donor?
I would consider if my organs were in good shape, I don't mind saving a life.
I'm in a catch-22. I don't want to be chopped up for them to take my bits.
They're not going to chop you. They're going to chop you up regardless.
No,
Because
you're not.
when they pop in that embalming fluid, they got to pull all the little juices and all that blood gush out of you anyway. Why not?
I mean, personally, my heart's so big, I don't think it'd fit inside anyone else's chest, so they can't have that.
Probably. I wouldn't disagree with that, but they'll find some 6'5", 200. We all got the same size heart, so it'll be all right. If your heart was really big, then there's something wrong with your heart.
My
There's something
heart
wrong.
is really big.
Yeah,
It's
in spirit, I believe it.
bursting with love. Okay, so are you going to change that now? You're not a donor to be a donor?
I don't know. When I have to renew my driver's license, I'll give it some thought because they give you that.
I tell you, the only thing that's made me consider it, right, and this is probably ridiculous. You know that film, is it £7 with Will Smith?
Yeah.
I thought, like, up until that point, I was like, nah, don't want to be chopped up, don't want to give mum. That movie was so, like, moving. I know it's a movie.
No, that movie was so depressing.
Yeah, but look at the thing. Look at, like you say, look at all the lives he saved. Like he gave that woman his heart. Oh,
was so depressing.
I thought
I needed a drink after that movie. For real, that movie was very depressing.
I'm on about
uplifting, but very depressed. Very.
Okay, yeah, I'm on about the message behind the movie.
So that movie makes you want to become a donor.
No, I didn't say I wanted to. I said it made me look at it in a different way.
Consider it.
Yeah, other than thinking I don't want to be chopped up. It made
you're going to be dead. Who cares?
Me. This body is a temple. You can't be hacking about at it. Come on now.
Body is a temple.
So yeah, up until that point, but after watching it, I did think you're right. It's got a good message and you would save people's lives. Have I changed it and become a donor? No.
So let me ask you a question. Now that you're getting older and you have a child with that's autistic.
Oh God, please don't ask me that question. I might cry.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna answer that question. As he gets older, I don't think he'll probably end up living on his own. Am I correct?
I don't know.
How would you handle being of age with your autistic son? How would you handle that as you get older? Like, what is your plans for you as far as Alfie is concerned?
At this precise moment in time, I'm not 100% sure Alfie will ever leave home. Like, I pray to goodness that he does, like his development does come on and he is able to be self-sufficient. But there's no guarantee of that. So I couldn't even tell you if he would ever leave home at this point, I mean, they do have things similar to like what you said about your dad,
independent living,
assisted living, so he could have his own flat where people check on him. If he even got to that point, I would be grateful, not because I'm trying to get rid of him, but at least I know he'd be independent. But at this precise moment in time, I don't even know if he will ever leave home. That then...
No, continue.
That then bugs the question, when my time does come, which hopefully, touch wood and whistle, is not going to be for a long time, who will look after Alfie? Like, and that's probably one of the saddest things I have to think about, because I honestly don't know.
Yeah, because I watched this show on Amazon Prime this weekend, and it was called As We See It. And it's a group of autism.
Hold on, I'm going to write that down. As We See It.
And it's a group of 3 25-year-old and they all have a certain type of autism, but they're functioning autism.
Oh,
So
okay.
they can get jobs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they all live together in this apartment, and they have an aide who comes in and gives them goals for each day, helps them with certain stuff like their jobs and all that, and goodness. So I always that always comes to my mind when I think of Alfie
Mm.
as he gets older, because he just turned what, 10?
Mhm.
So and he's in the double
You
digits
know
here.
what? The thing is for me, like being Alfie's sole carer, provider, however you want to word it,
Mm.
it's not that I haven't thought about that yet, because it doesn't, it really pains my heart. But at this situation that we're in now, I've only recently, in the last couple of years, I suppose, with Corona,
Mhm.
thought to myself, what would happen to Alfie if something happened to me now? And I don't mean if I carked it, like I mean if I had an accident. Like there was a period of time, not last year, the year before, when the lockdown started, I kept having visions of falling down the stairs, right? So then I thought to myself, well, what would I do? So then I started saying to Alfie, oh, can you pass mummy my phone? Like even if I was literally within touching distance of it, I was saying to him, can you pass me my phone? Then he would know to bring me my phone. So like now, for example, we've done the show later than normal. So you waited till I put him to bed. But before I put him to bed, I sorted some stuff out in the bathroom. I didn't hear my phone ringing, and he came running upstairs, running, 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 running. Oh, and he gave me the phone because you was calling me.
Mhm.
So that's good. But let's just say I fell down the stairs. I couldn't move, but I was still conscious, right?
Mhm.
I already know that I can't even call an ambulance or any medical assistance for myself until Alfie is sorted out. So the simple fact is, A, they wouldn't let him come with me. And B, if I don't do that, when the ambulance comes, they're going to call the police and the social services, who will take Alfie into care until such time that somebody, his next of kin, turns up to look after him. Now, if they can't get hold of somebody, that could be hours, and there's no way I'm going to put him through that. Like at the minute, his dad lives 2 hours one way, my mum lives 45 minutes the other way, the dude, Michaela, my best friend, the other person I would trust, lives 30 minutes the other way. So my choice is to call. I couldn't care less if I've snapped my leg off and I can pick it up and wave it around. I can't physically call for medical assistance until I know that one of them is on their way to sit with
Yeah.
Alfie.
Because the reason why I'm saying it, and I brought up that show, because there was a couple episodes where the young man was 25, and he found out that his dad had cancer. And his dad, he was like, well, I want to take care of you. And his dad was like, my job is to take care of you,
Mm.
and your job is to take care of you. Don't
Mm-hmm.
worry about me.
Mm-hmm.
Take care of you. So there was a couple episodes where the dad was trying to find relatives. Like, say for instance, he had a sister, and he was saying, like, if something were to happen to him, would you be able to, look after him, even though he's 25 years old?
Mm-hmm.
Still needs someone to make sure he's, financially stable,
And this is the thing,
sure he's
Alfie
not
will
running
need
credit cards and
somebody,
stuff.
even if he gets to the point where, let's just say he's self-sufficient and can live on his own, he doesn't even need assisted living, he's still going to need somebody
Right.
to watch out for him. And
Right.
my
So
options for that are very limited.
have you thought about that, since, Alfie is getting older and you're getting older?
I'm not going to
And
lie, I think about it often, but my options don't, but they're doesn't make my options anymore. Like, I think about it all the time, but the options are still as limited as they were if I do or I don't think about it. Now, you
but
saying that this guy had a sister who he was going to say, which would be the boy's aunt.
right.
Everyone knows on this show, I've made no qualms. I don't speak to my sister for one reason or
Well,
another.
this
But
is the tricky part.
she hasn't physically seen Alfie since he was 3 months old. So when people have family disputes or fallouts, these are the sort of things that they don't think about or consider.
Well, yeah, that was one of the partial situations in the episode because of the sister really didn't have any dealings with him or his son. You see what I'm
This is what I
saying?
mean.
And
It's
it was
difficult for
crazy.
somebody who's got no additional needs if they have never met a family member before and they're forced, like, to be under that person's care because there literally is no other family. Like, we've all seen films on it, and I know they're just films, but those things happen in real life. If something happens to you and there's nobody else apart from an estranged, long lost relative twice removed, that child has to, person has to go with them. And it's difficult for somebody who has no additional needs. So it just wouldn't happen for Alfie if he doesn't. It takes him a little while to bond with someone, to trust them, whatever way you want to say it. He's
Let
very
me make sure I'm
choosy.
saying that show right.
He's very yeah, because you normally say the wrong name. It's not
Nope,
that
as we see it, I said it right.
he's very choosy about who he lets into his world, and yeah, he's a very good judge of character, as regards to if somebody's a little bit shady or not a nice person, he'll pick up on that straight away. He's not silly. But in answer to your question, I think about it a lot and it literally pains my heart.
What do you think, like, as you get older, you will try to set something in place, like an emergency contact?
As I get older, as Alfie grows, like the school he's in now, special needs school, he can stay there till the end of his academic, till he's 18. And they teach them life skills like going to the shop, how to deal with money, how to cook a little something, So as well as me doing it at home, they will do that at school. So as he goes through the next 8 years to finish in his education, at that point, I'm hoping, stroke assuming, I'll have a better understanding of how much he will be able to cope with. Do you know what I mean? So that will then, I'll be able to put a plan in place as he gets older, and when I know his understanding of the world.
Now, that's where my question comes in, because you said as he gets older. But don't you think, like, you should have something in place now? Because say you were to fall down the steps and break your ankle and you have to go to the hospital. You know what I mean? Those are the things.
But I don't have, that is my options, to call one of those 3 people and wait till they arrive.
But do they know that they're the ones that you would call?
Yes, because I don't have, there isn't anybody else. But
I'm just saying, do they know, like, in case of an emergency?
Yeah. And
anything were to happen to me, you can call the dude, and no matter what she's doing, she's going to drop what she's doing.
The dude has already said call me. And it's the same with the dude where Harry's concerned. Like,
love me some Harry.
I would like to think she would call me, if she couldn't get through to Harry's dad or whatever, Other than that, there isn't anybody else I know that Alfie would be comfortable enough with for me to entrust him to.
Very well put. We're gonna jump off the Soph train right now.
Thank you. I mean, I can send him to Pennsylvania.
And he probably wouldn't want to come back. Trust me on that one.
Well, he always says, Richard, it's Richard.
Yeah, that's my buddy. Yeah. He probably wouldn't want to come back. Trust me on that one, because I would spoil my sons. Unfortunately, my sons are not even unfortunately. It's a blessing that they've got to the age that they are now. My oldest he'll be 22 in a couple weeks. My youngest is 19. You know what I mean? My youngest has beat leukemia, so he has a learning disability, but he's in school right now. So I mean, like, he's doing, God willing, they're both independent and eventually will branch out. Well, my oldest has branched out on his own. He has an apartment with his buddy. So I mean, as I get older, I'm hoping that, my sons will see that daddy is not a young man anymore and would, step in there if need be.
I just need to say something else. With the situation with Alfie, Alfie does have a half brother on his dad's side, but he has cystic fibrosis, and people with cystic fibrosis, their life expectancy isn't as long as a person without that illness. Do you know what I mean? So
his
that,
life expectancy,
yeah, is shorter due to this illness than the average person, say.
Yeah. Yeah. So that being
Also,
said, I have. Do you have now? This is another question. Doing that, we're talking about age. Do you have a will and power of attorney?
yeah, I had to when I was 28 and bought my first house. That was the first thing the financial advisor said to me, "You're gonna need a will." And I was like, "Mate, I'm 28, I ain't going nowhere." And he was like, "Yeah, but you have property now, so you have an estate." So yeah, you are to. What do you?
I have a living will, and it breaks down how my kids would get everything and how my stuff would be split up amongst my children. And that's how it goes.
I just got one more question going back to the donor thing, right? So I said I was in two minds about being a donor. Good styling on the ATP yawn, by the way. If let's just say something happened to Alfie and he needed a donor while I was alive and well and I was a match, I would give him it within a heartbeat. If they said he needed a kidney or whatever, take it.
Yeah, when it comes to my kids and my family members, if they need it and I got it, it's on. Intermediate family. Like sisters and brothers and Papa Dog, Papadopoulos, and you know what I mean, and my kids per se. Heads down. I'm pushing out the way. Sign me up first when it comes to my kids. But
me too.
Yeah, that's something to think about. Because anything could happen any day of the week.
No one knows what's going to happen in the next few minutes or the next hour, never mind the next day, week, month, or year.
Yeah.
Well, I just got to say, yeah, sorry, carry on.
No, carry on.
No, you.
Finish.
No.
How do you feel about life insurance?
You should have life insurance. For the simple fact is, it's not just to do about death. If you have a serious illness like cancer or what other really terrible, say, I don't know, you had to have a limb amputated, anything like that, your life insurance covers you when you can't work.
When you can't what?
Yeah, when you can't work. Like, if you can't work to get money, how are you going to live?
Unemployment.
And no one survives on that. We know that.
Yes, we do know that.
A couple of breadcrumbs a week. No. You got to put these things into place,
Yes, I think everyone should think about that as they get older, about where they would like to be placed as they get older.
I'm not going to lie. I've definitely said I always want to be buried. I don't want to be cremated, just because the thought of being burned, and I know you're dead, so you wouldn't know, but the thought of being like you, I've seen it on the telly. It doesn't look nice. That's not for me.
I don't want to be put in an urn and just like kept on one of my kids' mantle.
Yeah, but hold on. The only good thing is you can do anything with the ashes now. Like, people have jewelry made out of it. They have it turned into this, that, or the other, you know. I
Well,
mean,
I have a friend of mine who has now it wasn't human, it was an animal, but she had her dog ashes put in like a dog paw, and
see now,
she wears it around her neck.
I'm going to be really unsympathetic now. I don't understand why people go to them lengths for a pet.
Well,
Like,
some people love animals. But
I love
that's to be
animals, but I'm
said.
not going to wear it around my neck when it's died.
Well, but that's to be said how you can put your ashes anywhere.
Well, yeah, because I mean, I personally think I would look like a beautiful diamond ring.
With some gray ash in between it.
No, they make your ashes. They make it either into the stone or in the gold. That's what I'm saying. I would look like a beautiful ring on somebody's finger.
I don't know. Me, I'd probably go with a nice little medallion with it, like see some of my ashes and they're like a sand,
like
like a sand of time.
like in a time thing.
Yeah, like an hourglass.
Yeah, that's the word, hourglass. Yeah, I'm still being buried though. As much as I'd look like a beautiful diamond ring, no.
Yeah. Throw me in one of them nice boxes. Yeah. But to answer your question, would I want to be buried next to my twin? If they had enough room to bury me next to him, I would love it. I
You
would.
wouldn't go in the
I don't
same.
think
You
there's
wouldn't go in
room.
the same plot.
I don't want to be in the same plot. No.
Okay.
No, that's his place, his special place. I wouldn't want to.
Would you want to be buried in the same plot as your wife if you had one at the time?
What do you mean, on top of each other? No. Maybe next to her, but not on top
You're
of
like,
her.
God, I need my space, even when I'm dead. Give me my space.
Yeah, I need my space. Now, my grandmother and my grandfather are buried right next to each other, which is a beautiful thing.
Have they got separate stones, or is the stone joined together?
It's separate stones,
Okay.
which is a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Excuse me. My aunt and my mom are buried right next to each other.
My nan and my granddad are buried in the same one together.
So they have one tombstone?
Yeah, one stone that's got both their names on. Edna Nora Stanimir, and then Petro Stanimir, and then underneath is Edna Nora Stanimir.
And they're in the same coffin, or are they
No,
just buried on top of each other?
Yeah. So my granddad passed away, he gets buried. Then when my nan passed away, they just dug up the earth and then put her on top in the coffin, obviously, not out of the coffin.
Well, we got that part.
So, yeah,
wow, I've never heard such a thing.
Really? They don't do that there, bury you in the same hole?
I guess what? Very good question. I do not know. But I've never heard.
Have you heard the name of this
heard.
show, Across the Pond? That means you're supposed to tell us what it's like over there, and I'm supposed to tell you.
I've never heard, but see, that's the thing. I've never heard of anyone being buried in the same plot as their significant other or relative.
Sometimes
I've always seen them side by side.
Sometimes people are buried with their whole family.
Yeah, side by side, not all
because
in one.
Here you go. So my nan and granddad are buried together, right? When my aunt passed away, which was their first child, she wanted to be put in the same plot. So she got cremated and then her ashes went in the same hole as my nan and granddad.
Let me fix my mic here. Very, very interesting. It's new to me. I've never heard of that.
You can have whole families buried together.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna see if you're allowed to bury your significant other on one side.
On the same plot?
Yeah.
It'd be, I don't understand why you couldn't. How weird.
Yeah, I'm about to find out right now. in the States.
Not only you, folks, Rich is about to learn something new today. They say you learn
Yes.
something new every day. You are witnessing it, that Rich is learning something new today.
States. Can you bury
Haven't you ever gone to the cemetery and seen somebody's name on the same stone?
no
Most bizarre.
bury someone in the same?
This could take some time, folks. Maybe I should have Googled it because my fingers
You
work
should have.
faster. I've just had to look.
It's looking.
Anything?
Hold on, I'm looking. It just sent me through a whole bunch of stuff here.
Got a skim read to the best bits. Comment anyway, folks, and let us know what your views are on burial or cremation. Are you a donor? Would you do that?
Oh, can two bodies be buried in the same grave? It says sometimes multiple bodies are buried in a single grave, either by choice. So you can.
Oh.
As in the case of married couples, due to space concerns, or in the case of a mass graves as a way to deal with many bodies at once.
You never know. The future Mrs. Payne, Rich could decide to let you share his plot.
Yeah, maybe.
Not looking good, but
Not looking good.
what I was going to say is this has actually been a very serious Sunday. Normally we say it's serious Sunday, we have a joke and a laugh in between, but this has been a very serious topic.
Yes.
Some might say a little bit morbid. I don't think so. Things like this need to be talked about. Somebody could be watching the show and there's things they haven't considered, like
independent living.
Yeah.
Will your children take care of you? Life insurance.
Right. A will.
You know what I mean?
Anything.
Yeah, all that.
If we just manage to help one person, we'd be grateful.
All that good stuff. Power of attorneys and wills, living wills. And then you never know, would you ever, son, this is probably the last question because we're about to go, but how about if something were to really happen to you in the hospital, would you give them authorization to take you off life support?
Yeah, but it's out of your hands. If you're, let's say something happened to me and I'm on life support, as you put it, my next of kin would have to make that decision, not me.
But yeah, so what if you're like on life support and then come back and you're like a vegetable?
Then it's my next of kin's decision, not mine. I can't make the decision.
Yeah, but you can. You can put in place before you, like I'm saying, just like your will, your living will, you can put that in there where you tell them that you do not want to resuscitate. Would you do that?
Would you say don't, or would I say don't resuscitate me?
Resuscitate me. I ain't trying to go out like that. Resuscitate
exactly.
me.
I ain't going nowhere. You ain't getting rid of me that easy. Pump that heart. That big old heart is going to be
resuscitate me, god dang it.
Right.
If I end up in a wheelchair, oh well.
If it don't work,
resuscitate me.
If it don't work, they best try again. And if it still don't work, they best find another way because I'm not going nowhere.
Yupper. That's how I'm looking at it.
Right. Me and you could be in the same old people's home at this rate, causing havoc because they pumped us back to life, and we'd be like
in a wheelchair, just wheeling around, just
right, high-fiving on the way past. We ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. That being said, this is Serious Sunday. And how we always end it. This is Soph.
This is Rich.
And we are from
across the pond. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment, follow us everywhere, because we are everywhere. These faces everywhere. Google us, we're there.
Yes.
Rich,
Yupper.
I'm going to see you on Wednesday for the usual weekly meetup. We're going to see everyone else Friday for some fun. Yipper.
Yupper.